Tom Brady has just become the co-owner of Birmingham City. I bet you didn't have that one on your 2023 bingo cards. Even with my minuscule knowledge of American football, I know he's a billionaire, a born winner, the GOAT of the NFL, name dropped in countless rap songs, and now he's invested in St. Andrews. So that's why today we're taking over the club with the American at the helm in a classic takeover rebuild. So strap in. They're a sleeping giant in the Midlands and are currently in the shadow of their rivals Aston Villa balling out in the Prem. We're a long way from Tampa Bay, Mr. Brady. Welcome to the championship. Honestly, this is probably the kind of investment and type of hype the Blues need to take them back to the glory days of the top flight. Because just take a look at their first team, this formation, this roster, the average age of the squad, they're relegation fodder. They came through 17th last season in real life and avoided the drop like they have been for the last couple of years. They will refuse going down to the third tier, and it's one of the weirdest crossovers of all time, but we're gonna make it work. First off, we're changing this whack 5 at the back formation to just a solid 4-1-2-1-2. We want to have this Brady bunch playing with a pressure on heavy touch defensive style, fast build up and direct passing. Let's not kid ourselves here, we have got a job on our hands with the American as we take a look at the transfer budget. It's only £3 million. The financials haven't hit the transfer kitty yet, and we're gonna have to ball out on a budget. On paper, we're down there with one of the worst teams in the league. With a 2.5-star rating, it's abysmal. And not even any hidden gems in our youth academy can bail us out in this situation. We have straight up just a sensational crop of mid. For some unknown reason, Birmingham City just have a mad crop of youth players, and if nurtured correctly, they could one day down the line transform into first team ballers. And we've still got Joe Bellingham on the roster. He's gone to Sunderland in real life. Brady's kept him at his boyhood club, and if we can loan him out, get him some game time abroad, they'll hopefully return as first team ballers. The chopping block needs to start chopping if we want to raise any funds. Tom, mate, I know you've won the Super Bowl, but have you ever won the championship? We'll let the Super Bowl merchant cook, as the board are demanding us to finish in mid-table. Life in England, and especially Birmingham, is going to hit the American GOAT like a ton of bricks. Now, for the sake of realism, and because I was actually too naive to update the rosters and actually change them before I started the save, we're going to have to tick a few players off the list and purchase some talent that they've acquired in real life. First up on the board is a brand new centre back, and he goes by the name of Dion Sanderson from Wolves for 800k. One of their biggest moves to the transfer window this summer so far is picking up the Welshman on a permanent from Leeds, and that's Tyler Roberts. Considering I already should have added him to the team, these aren't going to count towards our budget because this guy was pretty expensive, £3.8 million to secure his services. And last but not least, just to match and emulate Birmingham City and what their current roster reflects, we've had to purchase one more deal that they've made happen in real life, as Tom Brady is more than happy to welcome the Scotsman up front, Siriki Dembele. He arrives from Bournemouth for a transfer fee of £1.45 million. With those 3 must-have real-life signings out the way, now we can start to have a little bit of fun with it. First player hot off the press to kickstart this Tom Brady era at St. Andrews. He's the next generation, our future first-team striker. That is just, I don't know, it's a perfect. It's a match made in heaven. The Flying Dutchman, he looks good in blue. His name is Noah Ohio. The scouts recommended me this king, and I just couldn't refuse. For 500k, I would have been kicking myself if I didn't pick him up. He's a perfect budget option at 20 years of age. Being one of America's best talents and just athletes in general, he's up there in the Sporting Hall of Fame, the American GOAT. He's going to have a bit of an American influence on this team, and you can start to see it come into fruition here with the signing of a brand new starting wingback. It's the man from FC Dallas, Justin Che, arriving for 700k. He's already wearing blue. He already feels like a part of the family. In order to keep this Birmingham outfit afloat and running sustainably, Tom Brady knows he's going to sell a few players, and that includes one of the first team goalkeepers. It's the Filipino shot stopper Neil Etheridge. As he backs his bag for Belgium, Oostende, grab him for 670k. You're going to start seeing some sales. Even though we're low on numbers, we've got a pretty thin squad, but a lot of them are aging, and we need to cash in on them before it's too late. It's going to also help us bring down the wage bill, as it's our centre back Harley Dean off to Coventry City for 240k. With only $1 million in the budget, you already know we're going to have to hunt for some bargain options, and the free agency is where they lie. Unfortunately, the American Alan Sonora is a snake. He doesn't want to join Tom Brady's Birmingham. I don't know, he probably thinks the GOAT is Lawrence Taylor. Nevertheless, as we need to secure a next shot stopper, we've got Dmytro Riznik, the Ukrainian Rizgod himself, joining on a free, and this youth academy regen player, I don't know who he is, he just gives me Adel Tarapt vibes. He's an Egyptian, can play cam German right mid, potentially the next Mo Salah. I want to convert him, just experiment with him really. He can be our test junkie for the next few seasons whilst we're in the championship. And last but certainly not least, a player who could become a protagonist in our squad and guide us to promotion, Brian Rodriguez, the Uruguayan versatile attacker. Or we could probably cash in on him later down the line. He's got to pick his path. Right now in season 1, he automatically becomes a starter on the left. Sonora, we'll never forget what you've done to us, but we've come through with a statement signing capturing one of Chelsea's most promising youth academy players. That's Carney Chukwuemeka. I've had struggles pronouncing his name all FIFA 23 cycle. I'm just gonna call him Chucky. We got him on a cheap. We were able to drive down his asking price as we install the juicy sell-on clause. Our new number 29 is gonna join in alongside a future first team centre back, the German Leandro Morgalla. Arriving from 1860 München, he has a suspiciously sounding Italian name. Nevertheless, he's an out-and-out centre half, can cover it right back, and we agreed the deal kind of similar to that Chucky scenario. With a big boy sell-on clause, we snatched him for 440k. We've had a hectic first transfer window, don't get me wrong, but there are still some real-life signings that I wanted to get out the way, and just for the sake of realism, pick them up. It's the last two that we're not counting towards our budget, and first order of business is the Polish CDM Christian Bielik, former Arsenal player arriving from Derby County for 4 million, and a player who I think could surprise a lot of people in the championship next season. He's an English talent arriving from Germany at Werder Bremen. It's the left wing back Buchanan, who can also double up as a centre back, and he has a game face scan, which in career mode just adds an extra layer of detail. And he's over the moon linking up with Tom Brady as we purchase him for 1.5 mil. On the flip side though, our outputs and our player sales have been minimal to say the least. Even loan offers, we haven't gotten any in for the likes of Bellingham. Loan deal for Roberts fell through, and now under Brady that has forced just some extreme changes to the squad. We've converted the best player at the club, Sunjic, into a centre back. Ibrahim is now converted to a right winger, the Egyptian. In the process of converting new club captain Tyler Roberts into a cam, Chucky gets the start at centre mid, and we're also converting Buchanan into a left-sided centre back. Thanks to career mode being career mode, our reserve options are plentiful. It's a transition period we're gonna have to get through. We'll take it week by week. We're just trying to survive out here. The mid-season market has arrived, and oh my days, it was necessary. I had to restart my game. I had a bunch of mods running in the background, and basically that was the reason why no one was coming in for our players. And now we can finally start shipping a few players out on loan, either sold like Scott Hogan. Hulk Hogan will be sold to Philadelphia for 1.2 mil. And not only that, we've had loan deals and sales galore. Most importantly though, Job Bellingham has been shipped out to the Greek League. He's now on a 2-year loan spell at Panetolikos, alongside that fresh crop of youthful Birmingham lads. Heath Chong has been sold to Hertha Berlin for 3.2 million, and the club legend himself, Troy Deeney, will be departing to Columbus Crew for 640k. Another sale as Lucas Jutkovic heads off to Real Zaragoza for 250k. George Friend joins Burgos CF for 260, and Sam Cosgrove has been purchased by FC Nordsjælland for 640k. It has been an instinctive clean out, but look how many more of these talents we've got out on loan actually being productive and getting game time. We now have some decent cash to work with in this winter market, £14 million. Now it's our turn to splash some of that Brady cash, and just like Travis Scott, we're always focused on the future, never on right now. That's a Utopia bar if you don't get the reference, but I was keen to introduce a little bit more goalkeeper competition into the starting team, and we've decided to sought after the Uruguayan shot stopper Franco Israel, hashtag Free Palestine, for £3.25 million. Coming in with the exact same rating, our Islord in net might have to sleep with one eye open. We're building from the grounds up, and we had to go out and activate this guy's release clause. The Spanish defender was quite pricey, but he'll be a solid foundational lad for the future. A gem hiding at Valencia. He can also play at right back. It is Cristiano Mosquera. We overpaid, but I don't mind, for £7.1 million. Welcome to St. Andrews. And closing this trade period with what I believe to be the deal of the winter, you can start to see Tom Brady's influence on the transfer market and his scouting technique. He's made a substantial move in real life. Ricardo Pepi is actually off to PSV, but in this Tom Brady era, you can just attract this type of talent. The American upcoming striker, he's on the rise, will be joining in from Augsburg for £5 million. With that strike combination of Ohio and Pepi up front, that is a duo that should be feared worldwide. But fuck it, we ball. If you aren't spending all your cash in career mode, are you really doing it right? The quarterback, he's just throwing throwing a lot of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. They're currently, comfortably avoiding that relegation battle, sitting at 16th halfway through the season. The Brummies have got to hear me out. Good times are coming. Brady's bunch finishing in 16th. Just like the previous 10 seasons, they've survived the drop. And with 56 points, they weren't too far away from that mid-table, as getting promoted, it's Leeds and Norwich making their way back to the Premier League, as it was Southampton to win the playoff final. The Saints right back up after one season in a 1-0 win against Watford. Our cup runs, don't think I should be getting too excited, because it was early eliminations all across the board. In round 4, losing out 2-1 to Reading in the FA Cup, and in the Carabao it was a similar fate, even more embarrassing, losing out to Plymouth on penalties in round 1. It's been a tough first season, I can't lie, but our intentions are clear. The Blues' top performers were indeed Noah Ohio, the top goal scorer. He wins the Golden Boot with 15 goals and 2 assists, a lovely +5. Tabit Ibrahim had a debut campaign for the ages. The Egyptian, he's got that something special about him, 9 goals and 5 assists for the right mid. And Pepe, but joining midway through the season, 9 goals and 1 is definitely something to celebrate. Sir Ricky Dembele was also in and amongst it, and the captain Tyler Roberts, 6 goals and 8 assists for the Welsh magician. The more experienced players like Bacunya and Rodriguez with some decent production, and Justin Che from right back with 2 goals and 3. And Israel overtook and copped 5 clean sheets the second half of the season. This isn't no easy fix. Me and Tom, we got a lot to sort out behind the scenes. We've got to strategize and plan for the next upcoming season, and maybe, who knows, in the second campaign, we might have ourselves a cheeky playoffs push. And this is what we've got to work with for season 2. The kind of budget which, I thought Tom Brady's cash would have been injected by now, but he's being cautious. He doesn't want to invest all of his net worth into the club, only 11.4 million. How do we strengthen, how do we rejuvenate this squad to get them competing in a brutal championship? Only time will tell. Let me set the scene for you guys. The bold Polish man Christian Bielik, we only signed him for the intensive purposes of being realistic, and he submitted a transfer request. He's had enough, he doesn't like it here under Tom Brady, so we've gone ahead and pulled off a trade that Americans would be proud of. They're big on their trades over there in American sports, so it's a swap deal, a classic Sir BCHD move. We've gone balls to the walls here with Romeo Lavia, could potentially be off to Liverpool or Chelsea in real life. We've had a little exchange with the Saints, as we've offered them Bielik plus 500k to complete the move. And the Belgian for the championship is an absolute steal. We've been able to spark up around £1 million for the sale of Jordan Graham, the right mid, off to fellow championship side Preston for 1.1 mil, allowing us to invest in a department in the field we're completely lacking in at the moment. There's just not enough depth there, and in case of any injuries or suspension, we've got a lad on our hands who's in desperate need of a fresh fade. I'm sure the local Birmingham barbershops will get him sorted out, because it's Alessandro Zanoli arriving from Real Madrid, locking down a pretty cheap deal for the former Napoli Youth Academy player. Right back who can also push up and play as a right mid for £2.6 million. I'm also tempted in converting him towards being a left back, so we can just play on either side of the flank. Either way, the Italian stallion becomes a blue. The rest of the window summed up really with 2 words, and that's loan deals. We also managed to sell a bit of deadwood in Gary Gardner, joining the MLS side San Jose Earthquakes. Meanwhile, it's James off to Basaksehir here for a 2-year loan spell, Brandon Keller joining the Greek outfit PAS Lamia, Nico Gordon off to Lecce, our German hardman Leandro Morgalla will be off to Greece, joining Olympiacos on a 2-year deal. We have a squad size of 32, but a large contingent of them are out on loans, acquiring the experience necessary to come back and feel like brand new signings. Hopefully they'll be transformed by the time we reach the Prem, but for now we're starting to implement a little bit of a youth focus. It's the Ohio Pepe combination in up front that I'm sure is going to send the whole league into lockdown. To be fair, we've had more captaincy changes than a homeless man has had hot dinners, but here we go for season 2. I want to ask you lot, when's the last time you seen Birmingham up in the playoffs? Oh god, I gotta stop doing these terrible impersonations, but here we go. Brentford and Leicester have absolutely walked the league, and our boys have gone from 16th to 4th. The biggest movers, the biggest overachievers, and with 94 points. And it was an astonishing cup run too. Look at that, semi-finals. They made it to Wembley. Unfortunately, losing out in a 3-1 loss to mid-table Chelsea. It was polar opposite over in the Carabao Cup, though. It was an early round 2 elimination to Leeds 4-2. But the Brady boys had promotion playoffs on their minds. They made it, and against Burnley, got the job done at home to make their way into the big dance up against Watford. It's the most expensive game in world football, and the Hornets stand in their way. The Blues have had to travel down to London, and I want to watch this one play out. Let's see if the boys can secure promotion in front of us, and it's a 2-1 win. A 77th minute winner from Tyler Roberts coming through. Rodriguez got the opener. In the most dramatic of circumstances, St Andrews will be witnessing Premier League football in Season 3. Gotta get my breath back as these lot have done the unthinkable. I was just happy with playoffs this year, just aiming higher than 16th, but these lads have come through and put on a show. Roberts, who scored that most important goal, he wasn't the stepdad of the team, he was the dad that stepped up, and the Welshman entering his prime with 24 goals, 12 assists, double figures, as Ricardo Pepi was 1 goal away from being the club top goal scorer, but his first full season at the Blues, and he's come through with 23 goals and 8 assists. The American firing on all cylinders. You might as well give this lad a gun license because he's finding the back of the net for fun. So Ricky Dembele proved useful off the bench with 16 goals and 3. Brian Rodriguez being the unsung hero off the bench, the Uruguayan, now becoming one of our highest overall players with 9 goals and 8 assists. Sabit Ibrahimian off the bench with 3 goals and 5. And Shaki with the captain's armband. As a cam, you'd like to see a little bit more production out of him. The future is now, people. In this Tom Brady masterclass, even Israel is acting like a quarterback with 1 assist from goalkeeper. We've got to take a gaze at the talent out on loan. We've just got substantial +2s, consistent 3s, a chunky +7 for Morgalla, who's still got a year to go in Greece. That's just how we play Moneyball out here in these streets, man. As Ricardo Pepi, his valuation has skyrocketed 353%. The villains haven't been relegated from the Prem. In fact, they are punching above their weight, fighting with the top 6, transforming into one of the big boys of England. But we meet again. Villa, watch out, because the Brummies are coming for you in the top flight. Premier League, here we come. Come on now, Tommy boy. I want those Prem parachute payments hitting the bank account. In fact, they have. We've been absolutely gifted with £53 million in the transfer kitty. Don't get it twisted. This season is all about survival. They've got to keep their heads above water and maintain Premier League status. And with this kind of signing, is going to act as a backup just for some cover on the wing spots. And it's a wonder kid from previous years gone by who I kind of want to rejuvenate his career, breathe some extra life into him, and get him back on the up. That is Mohamed Darami from Ajax. Our brand new number 11 will be Birmingham's first Premier League signing in decades, as he has that something special and can provide that extra spark and just be an absolute hidden weapon to bring off the bench. A super sub, if you will, and that's exactly the kind of vibes I'm going with this striker purchase. We need those 2 spares for Ohio and Pepi, just in case they get injured or suspended. We've gone shopping in Spain again and sought after Real Madrid's Alvaro, yet another Uruguayan joining us here for a flat fee of £4 million. He can slot in perfectly off the bench as a striker, and he's showing great potential, can also do a job at left wing. We're never going to beat those loan deal glitch allegations, as still a large majority of them are out on loan. That squad size of 31 is deceiving. We only have 2 reserves, not much depth to boast about. There's no need to chuck at Nottingham Forest and sign 23,000 new players a season. We've just got to trust in the young players and the youth we've got developing. So bring on Season 3, bring on the Prem. I'm not the biggest fan of Birmingham's kit sponsor, but we took a gamble and it paid off, with the Blues announcing their return to the top flight with 44 points, finishing 12th, quite comfortably above the relegation zone, as it was Aston Villa, after they finished 6th last season, to go down. With only 30 points, the villains are back in the championship alongside Nottingham Forest and Fulham. What a turn of events, with Manchester City becoming champions, winning the title quite comfortably. I think that's the story of the season. Our presence alone sent them down. They were shivering in their boots as we made yet another deep FA Cup run, making it through to the semi-finals, losing out 3-0 to Wolves at Wembley. And over in the Carabao, it was a round 4 elimination to the English champions Man City 2-1. Aston Villa, hold my beer, how the turntables. Tom Brady is not only throwing a staying up party, but an Aston Villa relegation party. You can't write scripts like these, people, as Noah Ohio becomes our top goal scorer, doing the American proud with 17 goals and 4. Ricardo Pepi, strike partner in crime, he's now bolstered up to an 85 overall, becoming the best player, the best attacker at the club, 16 goals and 8 assists. And Brian Rodriguez, he's come out of the woodworks. I was thinking of selling the guy, but no way. After 20 goal contributions and this kind of production, the Egyptian Ibrahim in and off the bench with 6 goals and 6. Chucky, the club captain, led him by example with 4 goals and 9. The defensive midfield spot was covered with the Belgian Romeo Lavia having a breakout campaign. Zanoli hit 2 goals. Darami in his first season only with 12 appearances and 1 assist. Unfortunately, didn't have too much involvement, with only 5 clean sheets for Franco Israel. Our loan report included the likes of Jordan James, games going up a +3. Pretty much everyone growing to a decent level. As the poster boy for Birmingham City right now, it is the Ricardo Pepi with a price tag of £74 million, the American, showing everyone how it's done. Mission accomplished. Not only did we survive, but we sent Villa back down, a deep little cup run. Tom Brady must be the most loved man in the city right now. Build him a statue outside the stadium ASAP. As we're sliding into campaign number 4 with around £53 million again on the dot. We're being consistent with it. I'd like to launch season 4 with a cheeky little double signing up our sleeve. We're on that quality over quantity type beat, and these Blues have got to move like big time Premier League steppers if they don't want to fall into the same traps that their rivals did. We ain't going backwards, baby. All Tom Brady sees is W's, as we've invested heavily into our goalkeeper spot, pretty much splashing the entire budget on the Georgian shot stopper, as Georgi Mamarshvili will join us for a fee of £45 million, plus the ex-Spurs Youth Academy hotshot Alfie Devine, who is showing great potential, still only 21, has a game face scan, and it can also put in a shift out at left wing. The popular Georgian goalkeeper serves as a major upgrade over Israel in between the sticks, and he'll be guarding us, trying to make sure we don't suffer from second season syndrome. You already know what time it is. Doesn't matter what division, what competitions we're fighting in, the loan system is always going to be fully functioning and operating whilst I'm around. As we continue it with Alfie Chang, he returned from Pisa. We're throwing him straight back out there on a 2-year loan spell, this time to Norwich. Mr. Brady has made it his initiative to not have any of these Birmingham talents rotting on the bench, and that includes Joe Bellingham. His big brother's out balling at Real Madrid, but he's been sent out on a 2-year loan spell to France. A lot of these guys just aren't ready for first team action yet. And just like in the bedroom, we wrap up season 4 summer transfer market, the standout improvement being our keeps. Meanwhile, for the rest of them, it's business as usual out here in these streets. Let's see if the Midlands best can push up into the upper echelons of the Premier League table. It's Brady City, and we're just living in it right now because the Birmingham boys just keep chugging along with 72 points, 6th place. I'm pretty sure that's Europa League. The Blues are about to jet set on a European tour as Man City won the league with 87 points. We're only one more win away from Champions League football and getting relegated. It's Norwich, Sheffield United and Luton Town all going back down. As over in the FA Cup, the boys went on to win it. The Brady Bunch only went on to go all the way and take on Tottenham in the big dance with a 2-1 win at Wembley. I mean, it's only Tottenham.
Tottenham is the history of the Tottenham.
Spurs will be Spurs, but still, what a run it was, beating Man City comfortably 3-1 in the semis. The Blues also took down a fellow North London rival in the Carling Cup, as it was called ages ago. I think it was 2009, 2010 era, but it wasn't to be as they faced a round 3 elimination to Everton 2-1. We're all going on a European tour, a European tour. A European tour. That's right, Tom, mate. There won't be any special Europa League draft. You're going to have to get your wallet out if you want to strengthen this squad, because our best gunman up top is Noah Ohio, bagging them in 26 goals and 3 assists, outscoring Ricardo Pepi. The American still netting 21. Meanwhile, it's Mohamed Darami who has exploded into life, revived his career, and entering his prime as the only player on the roster to have double figures in both goals and assists, considering Brian Rodriguez at 88 only has 21 goal contributions. Tyler Roberts also in there. He's become one of the more senior figures at the club with 6 goals and 7. Romeo Lavie has finally decided to turn up with 2 goals and 9 from CDM. The armband keeps hopping from player to player, but Lee Buchanan has had a centre-back season of dreams, going up a +5. Chucky with 10 goal contributions, still proving useful. Morgalla had a substantial +3 upgrade. Meanwhile, Mamarshvili with 8 clean sheets in his debut season here in England. And the loan report, the only decent growth and promising player we can report on is Joe Bellingham, who will be returning come season 6. He's still attempting to climb out of his brother's shadow, but for the rest of them, we'll let them cook. It took 4 years to have that Tom Brady grind set for Birmingham to add their first piece of silverware to his collection. Besides that playoff final win, it's a proper trophy, the FA Cup, and the first the club has won in God knows how long, 15 plus years. For our season 5, half a decade through budget, we've been gifted by the gods. Mr. Brady has understood of the assignment. Now you've got to start the season off like an artist would start off an album, with an absolute banger. And now that we're on the continental stage, I've whispered in Tom's ear, we got to start splashing the cash. We got to break the club record transfer fee. It's not too hard to do, but no word of a lie, this kid could be the best player to ever set foot at St. Andrews. He won't be getting the retired number 22 though. It's our brand new number 7, the French playmaker Desiree Doué. And he's been a baller that I've wanted to sign in career mode or in a video for so long now. I feel like I say that every video, but he's a franchise player, and I'm just ticking off the last few wonder kids that I want to sign and experience before EAFC 24 drops. Now I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but you'd start to think Jason Love might have some competition here. With this absolute unit, Ousmane Diomande, our Croatian at the back isn't getting any younger, so we've included him in this swap deal. It's player plus cash to win Sporting Lisbon, and the Ivorian defender will get his opportunity and chance in the Premier League to partner at the back with Buchanan both domestically and continentally. We had to include the last bit of our remaining budget, £9.6 million, plus a player in return. He's weighing in at a whopping 6'3", and trust me when I say this, he is built like a brick shit house. But these loan deals won't catch a break either, as we have the Welshman Jordan James out on a 12-month loan spell to Athletic Bilbao. Those two mega buys drained our entire budget, so we've had to resort back to our season 1 desperation days where we're relying on free agents, sort out Japhet Tanganga, the former Spurs lad. He'll just come in as a bit of cover and backup for Che at right wing back. I'm not quite sure how a man from North London is going to deal with the Birmingham life, but it is what it is. The more depth and quality we have, the better. We have one final departure to confirm, and that is Nico Gordon headed on a 2-year loan spell to Italy as Lazio will claim the defender. The quality is there, the team chemistry is on point. Brady's bunch should be well and truly fighting for a top 4 spot. We've got some quality talent to bring in off the bench too. I think it's their year. It's time for the lads to show why they're the biggest team in the Midlands. The Brummies right now are in party mode because for the first time in club history, I'm like a 99.9% sure they've qualified for the Champions League, technically being league runners-up, tied on 79 points with Man City, finishing officially in 3rd, and have secured that top 4 spot with ease. We'll take a look and see how the crosstown rivals did. No way, they got relegated again. We're just living in the villain's head rent-free because it's happened again. It's happened again. Meanwhile, over in the Community Shield, we launched the season off in the perfect way possible with a 2-0 win over City. We've just got their number at the moment. However, we couldn't defend our FA Cup crown as Man City take that one out 3-0 against Norwich in the final. We were eliminated in round 4 to Newcastle 2-1. It would have been nice to both win the FA Cup and the Carabao, but it wasn't to be as Chelsea defeated the lads on penalties. It came down to spot kicks after it finished 0-0 in a heartbreaking 5-4 loss. But we take a look at the Europa League, where Brady's Blues actually made it out the group with 11 points. Over in the preliminary round, beat out Rakow 6-3, and then in the round of 16, faced up against Bayer Leverkusen. It was a narrow 3-2 loss on aggregate. It's an effort to be commended, a valiant display, one that the NFL GOAT would be proud of, and it's really starting to become evident now that Ricardo Pepi is one of the best strikers in the world. He's reached that world-class level. Noah Ohio still performing above and beyond expectations. He's probably outscoring his XG. Meanwhile, Brian Rodriguez has been the quiet achiever in this team with 22 goal contributions on the left-hand flank. Mo Darami's keeping it pushing with 9 goals and 6 assists. Meanwhile, it wasn't the dream start. Desiree Doué didn't really hit the ground running, only with 7 goals and 2 assists from Cam. He only had 24 appearances. I think the assistant manager, he's favouring Tyler Roberts over any other midfielder right now, which might have to change as our consistent Ibrahim with 7 goals and 7 on the right, Buchanan from centre-back with 4 goals and 3, Chucky off the bench with 3 goals and 2, Justin Shea netting a goal. Zanoli's now taken over as a full-time left-back, and Lavia is still fighting for his life when it comes to first-team game time with 10 goal contributions in 39 appearances. In the meantime, we have the likes of Joe Bellingham returning back to the club next year, on a mission like the rest of these guys to become a viable first-team option. You know, we're one of the most dangerous attacks in the world when 2 of our frontmen are valued at over £100 million. Transitioning over into Season 6, it's the Champions League inbound. Tommy doesn't know what's about to hit him as it's uncharted territory for the club. Let's see if they can handle the heat in the kitchen. And now our transfer budget is looking quite beefy, £173 million. Mr. Brady. You've outdone yourself, mate, and boy, it's about to get fucking testy, baby. We're fresh off a major centre-back signing from last summer's market, but I just wanted to pull this one off straight out of spite. We've got the resources, it's time to make a statement, and it's former Aston Villa player Pau Torres, who's making the switch from the Villains to Birmingham City. He's doing the ultimate trader move, but that's what I love about him. He's got the balls to pull it off. Tom Brady can't wipe the smile from his face as we included Dion Sanderson in the deal, plus £59 million. Defense wins your championships, man. Tom Brady knows all about that. No wonder why he had an exit plan out of Villa Park. They were getting relegated like it was 2016 again, as we've decided to go all in on a brand new CDM. You might not recognize him. I've got some mods on in the background. I don't know what they've done, but they've cooked up a randomized game face scan for Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, it looks like an imposter. It looks like his half-brother, but the Argentine World Cup winner was stranded out at RB Leipzig. He's making a grand return back to the Prem for £80 million on the dot. A shrewd piece of business, if you ask me. It's a direct echo of our trade market last time out, resulting in two brand new starters. Enzo takes over Lavia at CDM, and Pau Torres now links up with Buchanan at the back to form the Great Wall of Birmingham. Blues fans, start pinching yourselves here in the Champions League and been drawn up into Group C alongside none other than Barcelona, Club Brugge and Olympiacos. Talk about a baptism of fire. I'm confident with these guys. With all the mentorship of Tom Brady, have got that dog in them. But let's see if they can pull off the unthinkable. How have we gotten ourselves here then? In a Champions League semi-final second leg at home, we have the chance to book our spot into the big dance already, and I want to shake things up. 3-3 on aggregate. I don't do this often, but I want to play the attack and highlights and see if we can secure the spot ourselves. In the olden days, we would have had that away days goal advantage. Doesn't it look absolutely scintillating? A St. Andrews on a Champions League final night in the biggest of occasions. I've barely touched this feature ever since FIFA 23 dropped, but here we are with Rodriguez. Buccaneering run down on the left. He's nearly ticking it out of play. We've had to keep it in with a ball into Ohio. He wants the shot. Penrith. Crossing opportunity here. 80th minute. Scores are still level. It's an absolute stalemate. And we've got Rodriguez again, proving to be dangerous on the left-hand flank. Ball inside to Ohio for the winner. Off to penalties, I believe. Okay, it was 0-0. Sent into extra time. We couldn't convert from our attacking highlights, and now it's down to spot kicks. Let's see if Brady's bunch can do it. It's Enzo Fernandez on the ball. First up for the spot kicks. He's got ice in his veins, but it's a major save from Donnarumma. And he's echoing Euro 2021, but Marashtabili. The Georgian mimics his Italian counterpart as Desiree Doué straight down the middle from our French number 7. Now Joao Pedro. He wants to go left and he chips us. He thinks it Pirlo-esque. This is what you're paid to do, mate, in these high pressure moments. We need you to convert, and oh goodness me, he lashes it into the top left hand corner. Nunez from the spot. He's gone with low power, but Mamashtabili. And now Fernandez. He wants to go with a cute finesse finish. And oh, Donnarumma gets a crucial palm to it. Now Gavi. He's got all the pressure in the world. It's another dink. Are you serious? The audacity from the CPU today. And now Sariki, the Scotsman, sends the keeper the wrong way. It's the winter. The Birmingham fans don't celebrate yet. Mamashtabili saves this. It's game over. But no, the Dane, he needs to remain cool, calm, and composed. But Donnarumma, oh dear, this is the moment. Hodgson, Roy Hodgson's son, steps up to the plate and breaks Brummy's heart. Oh, that's what you get for celebrating too early, Blues fans. St. Andrews has been let down to a dull roar. We thought we had it in the bag, and Tom Brady's lads have been silenced. Zachary Hodgson, mate, you've just become public enemy number 1 in the streets of Birmingham, so watch out. Those are the bonding moments. Those are the tough parts of football that no fan wants to experience. Heartbreaking losses. We've got to keep our heads up after that. With 86 points in the Prem, we officially finished runners-up to Man City, who've pretty much nearly gone flawless. 99 points for the champs, and it's Champions League football secured for season 7. I just still can't get over that. 2 heartbreaking penalty losses in this rebuild so far. We haven't been able to emulate that season 4 FA Cup success in the Magic. Lost out in round 4 to Watford 3-2. And the Carabao still remains out of our reach, being eliminated in the quarterfinals, losing to Fulham 2-1. And yeah, PSG went on to win it against Milan in the final. They take home the Holy Grail, and it was a Champions League run that'll go down in the history books. The job ain't finished though, and it feels weird weird having so much success, yet no silverware to back it up. That's been season 6 in a nutshell, with Pepe our top goal scorer, 24 and 5, Durami coming through with 23 and 4, and Noah Ohio is in there again at 26, about to enter his prime with 26 goal contributions. Brian Rodriguez from the left-hand flank finally showing up with some decent numbers. The only player to get double figures in both goals and assists, with Enzo Fernandez's debut outing. 8 goals and 7 for him. Desiree Doué actually stepping up to the plate with 15 goal contributions, and Justin Che from right wing back with 2 goals and 2. Lee Buchanan has just excelled at centre half ever since we converted him there. We still had the likes of Alvaro and Gordon out on loan in Serie A, with the main Don in between the sticks. Giorgi copping 18 clean sheets, a career best for him so far, and with 4 players now in that £100 million valuation range, you know something special is about to be cooked up. It was part of Tom Brady's pipeline. It was all part of the plot, and that's what it's all about. The character building along the way, the friends you make along the yeah, I'm just waffling. I'm just coping at the fact we bottled a glorious opportunity. Nevertheless, season 7's coming right up. A wise man once said, the job ain't finished. Just like Joey Badass, we're coming out for revenge. Fresh off the press for season 7, and I don't know what's up with these face scans, but Bolde didn't need to take his own last name seriously. For some reason, he shaved off his entire hair, gone for a new cut, new style, and he'll fit right in here at the streets of Birmingham. It's the only position we needed to upgrade. A player who wasn't 85 rated or higher, Zanoli is going to face the cut as we introduce the Spanish left back for a brand new record fee of £82.4 million, breaking the bank. And that's exactly how Tom Brady likes to operate nowadays. He's putting his all. He's putting all of his time and resources into the club, and at 25, he's a top quality first starter that doubles as a utility option. Balde slots in perfectly at left back, and I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I think we've got the winning formula. The lads just need to go out and execute, and they should be sweet, good to go for season 7 with lofty high expectations. I want it to be convincing. It wasn't a Premier League run to ride home about for our standards, as we were in the top 4 but not really fighting for the title, kind of giving up. After the heartbreaking Champions League exit last year, it was just all eyes focused on the continental scene, and we got reminded of it with another penalty shootout cannon event loss to Man City in the Community Shield. These lads are 0-3 when it comes to penalty shootouts. You wouldn't want that to be the case in a Champions League final, but over in round 3 of the FA Cup, it was an elimination to 2-1 to Hull City, and there was no Carabao Cup final berth either, with an early loss in round 4 to Spurs, 2-1. But in the UCL, it was Group G, and we were dealt quite the easy hand with Porto, Villarreal, and Partizan, finishing on top with 12 points, coming through with 4 wins, and we edged past Barcelona 2-1 in the round of 16, progressing through to an all-English affair in the quarterfinals. In a 5-4 aggregate win, we showed Chelsea who the real Blues of England were, and in the semi-finals, matched up against Wolfsburg, we took care of the Germans as they folded like a deck chair. And okay, I wanted to inflict some revenge on PSG in the final, but no, we've been dealt Ajax. A surprise, but a welcomed one. Bottoms up, baby. With the Holy Grail on the line tonight, we've got to touch base and check in on our 36-man Birmingham roster. It's the expert recruitment that has taken us to the next level with Brady Ball, and Tom's 2 favourite sons, Pepe and Ohio up top, have scored a combined 47 goals. You love to see it. Mo Durami on the right, who has just taken the Prem by storm with 17 goals and 5. Enzo Fernandez, who has just been our Argentine warrior ever since we signed him, 8 goals and 4. Brian Rodriguez, who's always high up in the rankings. You can always count on him. 20 goal contributions from our Argentine, and Alejandro Balde from left back with 4 goals and 8. He provided much more of an impact than I anticipated. Chucky off the bench with 2 goals and 1. Pau Torres with 2 goals from the back, and our captain leading by example, who somehow nearly got the same level of production as our mega money man Desiree Doué. Make it make sense, people, but it's a team effort if I've ever seen one. With a hometown academy product, Joe Bellingham still in the mix. We're not much of a defensive unit though. Even though we have signed so many world-class centre-backs, we still struggle to keep clean sheets. The Georgian only managing 6 this time around, but we've scored enough goals, and now our roster boasts 5 valuable assets, all with a price tag in that 9-figure range. It's the first time in rebuild history on the channel that I've played Ajax in a Champions League final. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thankfully, we've been thrown a new challenge, something different. It's our strongest starting team up against the Dutch outfit, who look like they've kept a hold of some of their top talents. I've been trying to tell Tom, the Super Bowl, it only has, you know, a couple 100 million viewers compared to a Champions League final where Birmingham are going to be performing in front of billions. There are levels to this game, people, and Ajax have been here before. So Don't you worry though, the Brummies are out in force, as they've probably sold everything they have to buy tickets and fly out to see the game. Let's get this show on the road as Pepe kicks us off. It's advantage played for Isaac Rasmussen. He's in the clear and he gets the first opening chance of the game. Beautifully switched out wide to Durami. Finds Pepe on the inside and he sees our boy Ohio now one-on-one with Sanchez. Rasmussen now flurrying forward. He sees Conceição, who wants to pop one from distance. Cutting it back, and our crossing opportunities have been plentiful. Desiree Doué thought he opened the scoring, but he was slightly offside. Lionel comes to Ajax rescue, and yeah, he was about 2 miles offside. Fair call. Durami now, this link up with Shea. It's just been marvellous so far, but he can find the breaking ball inside to Pepe, and the way we've broken through has been absolutely unstoppable. He hasn't done much all season, but Desiree Doué on the biggest of stages rocks up and says, hey, remember me? I'm here. Popped up right in front of net to slash that one home. He's a cold-blooded killer with ice running through his veins. He gets Birmingham 1 to the good. Look at the overlap here. We've got the run of Che, and our American has got options inside, in the middle. Oh, Desiree Doué, calm down, mate. He's tricky with it. Ohio sees Rodriguez on the end of the area. There's a free man inside. Ohio misses it. Back on defensive duties, but loses out the second ball of possession. Pau Torres now trying to track down Unuvar. Doesn't want to give away a penalty. And just like that, the Eredivisie outfit equalised. And it was a smashing finish into the top right-hand corner. The former Villa boy caught out and missed the tackle completely. Back to the drawing board. It's 1-1. Now Ajax are really starting to put the pedal to the metal here. And they're in for a second. Georgie made sure to repel that one. Out for a corner. Ball inside from the set piece. It's another big header. Cleared off the line. And cleared off the line again by Balde. All of a sudden, everything is falling apart at the seams. It's off the charts right now with Doué inside to Pepe. Ricardo with the chance of a lifetime, denied by Robert Sanchez. I don't recall Ricardo Pepe being a free kick specialist, but he's got 96 free kick accuracy from the dead ball specialist. Can he provide something? And it's just over the bar. The misses can't believe it in the stands. Could be another fatal error as Buchanan has to clear his lines, and not to the extent we wanted them to, as Rasmussen works his way through. That's a beautiful cross inside to Bentancur. After all our attacking forward pressure, Ajax only need one opportunity to go up the other end and slot one home. They take the lead for the first time in this game, and how? And Doué back inside, there's a free man. It's Ohio in the clear, and it didn't take long to find the equaliser. Pick it out the back of the net, son. There's still a job to do. He's a deadly finisher, alright, and he launched an unsavable effort to get us back into this game and swing the momentum in our favour. And it somehow made it there. Durami with a cute little spin, and he sees some options free at the back stick, but he doesn't opt for them. Sanchez single-handedly keeping Ajax level. Don't really understand that tactical change, but we get the opportunity from the set piece here. It is Ohio who misses the header, but another ball back inside at the back stick. It's Pepe floating around in the area. It took a bobble and it landed to the feet of the most dangerous man on the park. It doesn't take much for him to score. He doesn't need an open invitation. And we had a second bite of the cherry. The cross in from Rodriguez. He's coming clutch just like Tom Brady would in the Super Bowl, and we retake the lead. Oh, Bergwijn now. He's fresh off the press. Unuvar, and he's back into Bergwijn, and it's back to being level pegging 3-3. One little defensive lapse in judgment, and the super sub. I said I didn't understand the tactical change, but I understand it now. Ajax, they've just flicked to second gear, and all of a sudden, we get an opening opportunity. Doué puts it on a silver platter for Pepe to strike it home for the winner. And with 3 minutes left on the clock, could that be the goal? We can't be too sure of it with all the last minute drama and storylines this rebuild throws at us. Ajax might have something still left in the tank. Forget Pepe, call him Papi. Because just like the postman on Sundays, he never fails to deliver. It's his 9th goal in the competition. Ricardo, mate, take a bow. Nah, I ain't risking anything. I don't want extra time. You know how these boys are with penalties. We're going ultra defensive. And we'll take this one to the corner flag. It was the last signing that we made, and he takes the last touch of a winning Champions League final. It was a 7-goal thriller. They were no walk in the park. We couldn't underestimate the Ajax boys. And it proves why, because they gave us a game in true Tom Brady fashion in a last-minute winner to see Birmingham climb to the top of world football and become European champions. The Blues not only took over the city, made their rivals irrelevant, moment, but of confirmed European glory, and it's our boy Buchanan from day dot from season 1. He gets to lift up the title, and for the first time in history, they're on top of the world. If you guys went on to enjoy this one, make sure to drop the video a like down below. What other manager / club specials should we do before FC 24? Or have there been any takeovers in recent weeks that we should consider? If you never want to miss out on any content, make sure to hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that good stuff, and make sure to hit me up on all my social medias. They are linked all in the description. As always, I've been your boy Sir BCHD. Have a great day, take care, I'll catch you all in the very next video. Up the Brummies.